In many shamanic cultures, it's really important to have an altar. And what altars do is they create sacred space. And so to try and understand in shamanism, what happens is, as a shamanic practitioner, as a shaman, we're always trying to lift up out of our humanness, move it aside, so that the divine part of ourselves creates this incredible connection up to the divine forces of the universe. And just imagine through that strong, unbroken connection, what we can manifest. And so to help us lift out of our humanness, one way that we can work is to create altars of really special objects that create sacred space in our house. My house is an entire altar. I have altars in every room, and I really love them. And one of the things that I was really guided to do was to create an altar out of objects and rocks and pieces of bark that I found on the land. And what that does is it helps me always stay connected to the land, because in shamanism, the energy that we're pulling on is our connection with the land, because the land is our home. And this is one of the most important elements in teaching about the power of shamanism, is teaching people how to connect to the land that they're on. And so creating an altar out of things that you find in nature right where you live is a powerful way to stay connected to your land. So this is an altar that I made from nature. Again, I have altars all over my house for different reasons, but this is my altar for nature. And so, for example, this is a piece of bark that comes from a cottonwood tree that I love to visit on a daily basis. And this particular tree represents my connection with my father. I don't know what it is, but this tree reminds me of my father, and I adored my father. And so one day I was at this tree, and I was thinking about my father and how much I love the tree, and this bark, out of the blue, just fell into my hands. And so of course I had to bring it back for my nature altar. And we're all aware of how we take a walk in nature, and all of a sudden we see these rocks that they're natural. We didn't buy them, nobody carved them, the universe carved them, the elements carved them, and they're amazing omens to us about how much love how much love the universe has for us. So we all get omens as we walk in nature about the love that we're being held in. Take one of those rocks with permission, ask the rock, and you'll feel it in your intuition if it's okay, if you can bring it home to put on your altar. So all these little pieces on my altar are reflections of the land that I live on, so that I can really draw the power of the land in my ceremonies, which is what shamans did. Shamans really traveled because it was really important. Their land where they lived was their power. And so connecting with the land is the most important key in doing ceremonial work in shamanism. And then lastly, what I wanted to share with you is what I do when I travel is I fold up my altar and I take it with me, so that when I go to different places on the planet and teach, the power and the love of the land is always supporting me. This is a really wonderful way to work. I really encourage you to start picking up objects from nature where you live that help you really connect fully to the power of the land, because the power of the land is one of your greatest allies.